Yes, I understand that the session is about new ideas, but I'm afraid I haven't heard very many new ideas. I appreciate the points that John made in particular about the need to manage the financial system better, but it seems to me that you're basically saying manage it better, manage it smarter, but it's not really sort of focusing on doing something differently. Now, one thing which I think has been missing in the role that the different sectors should have is the role of community. I've not heard the word community mentioned. We've got the private sector, we've got the possibility of the state investing, but somehow this investment needs to be done through private companies. We mentioned the example of Finland. One of the interesting things about Finland is that it's one of the European countries where social economy enterprise are actually foremost. I actually visited a project in Finland where basically they absorb most of the unemployment in a town called Vasa through a project that recycles and reuses waste from all the city. And they employ hundreds of people in this. Now, why don't we have any equivalent there? Now, that's new thinking. That's a new idea. That's actually, rather than paying people dole to not work, actually employ them to do something which is useful and which is beneficial. And
how many people would that account for? How many people would a project like that account for?
About 250 people were employed at the time that I went to that project. That's just one small example. There's actual childcare co-ops, there's a number of other organizations through the cooperative model, through associations and so on. And it's the state actually investing proactively in that, in order to not use the money to keep people unemployed, to make them slightly happier while they're unemployed, but to actually get them back into active participation in the economy. Now, the other issue in Finland is the competitiveness angle. The other thing that Finland does is actually channel expenditure very strongly towards making the enterprises, the research agencies competitive. I'm not sure that Ireland is actually doing the same. I've been hearing that the EPA is going to be suffering cuts through programs like Strive and Cleaner Greener, which would be disastrous. And really, if the competitive edge is to be maintained in R&D, the investment has to be increased, not decreased, really. But really, the Finnish example is a new idea, not worldwide.
Again, Finland is at 3% of GDP investment in R&D. The other side, I think, that Finland has, it has some big companies, particularly with Nokia, that one of the challenges I think we have here is that there are very few large Irish companies. You could count the exporting companies on the food side, CRH on the product side, and building products, Kerry Group, that. One of the problems, and this is, I suppose, we're still as a country, we're probably still only a teenager, in the sense that people had money, they were bought out by American or other companies, and they sold, and the locus of that company moved. To go back to the Cullinan report here, where we split the idea of Enterprise Ireland, because it was felt that the indigenous companies were not getting the same support. I think the experience now, all made the point earlier, that there's about 90,000 Americans working in Irish companies in the States, which is roughly around the same as what's working in American companies here. The big difference is the Irish companies are small companies, the American companies are large companies. And finally, I suppose we look at something like Fruit of the Loom a few years ago in Donegal, 10,000 people working there, where one company went to the wall and transferred. There was a whole social destination out there. So we have to be careful and balance that having a number of smaller companies that are really focused, and this cluster effect, and I think we're going to see much more of that in the future. You're also going to see competitiveness moving from country to country, to city to city. It's broader urban areas. It's not going to be just Ireland versus whatever. It's going to be, you look at Singapore as a state, it's a small area. So I think those challenges, I fully agree with you on the R&D stuff. We've already talked about the green energy stuff as well. There's huge opportunities there, but